fair catch rule. And yes, there's the new NFL rule that is in place where fair catches on punts and kickoffs inside the 25-yard line will be placed at the 25-yard line. So now we have another rule that is added to the kickoffs to essentially continue to minimize this play and minimize how it actually sets up strategy and how, just strategy and how a team is going to approach another team on the field. Now keep it in mind, we've already made it to where the teammates used to be able to run as the kicker was running up to kick it. Now the kicker has to kick before the teammates can run. That was to reduce concussions and just those head-on collisions. It used to be a touchback that would come out to the 20. Now it's the 25. The kickoff, that's now three things. The kickoff used to be from the 25-yard line. Now it's from the 35-yard line. And now, if you have a fair catch inside the 25-yard line, you will literally be given the difference in yardage up to the 25-yard line. So now, and there's been a lot of talk about, is this taking jobs out of the league, or will this take jobs out of the league in the future? Yes. And before anyone, that's just how things evolve, eventually this position won't exist. No. This rule is specifically hindering the kicker position because when it used to be the kickoff was from the 25, your kicker had to send it 75 yards down the field, maybe about 70 to 72, probably realistically, 72 to 74, not to move it around so much, but to strategically place it enough enough in front of the goal line to where they can't obviously down it for a touchback and come out to the 20. They have to run it out. And it's really on, the special team squads to really make it happen. And whether it's a good player or favors whoever it does. But now it was moved up to the 35. Okay, 10 yards taken away, an advantage given to the receiving team. That reduced touchbacks, or excuse me, that increased touchbacks by a lot. I think the jump was very exponential. You can see it in the percentages. Now you will you will be given yardage again if you call for a fair catch inside the 25-yard line. So now that the kickoff is on the 35, you essentially only need a kicker to kick the ball. The 35 to the 50 is 15 yards. The 50 to the 35 is another 25 yards. 25 plus 15 is 40. You're now only needing a kicker to kick the ball 40 yards, essentially. I don't know. It's just very odd. It's very odd because you're either going to get the touchback and come out to the 25, or if the kicker goofs and kicks it between the 25 and the goal line, you're just going to wait for a fair catch. So if the kicker kicks it at the 2 and you see that it's not going to land inside the goal line, you're going to walk your happy ass out to the 2-yard line and wave your hand so you can be given 23 yards, whether it's on a punt or whether it is on a kickoff. And so now we're just really minimizing the position of kicker. And I'm not a kicker advocate. Game positive side of this as well. Football. My entire show is about football. Sometimes it's hard to come out with content, and I even contemplated, should I talk about this rule change? But it does impact the game because now you're going to have kickers being asked to do less, which more than likely they'll get paid less. Kickers are going to be minimizing the game. You're giving, do you realize you could be giving up 2.5 first downs if your kicker puts the ball at the 2, and everyone's going to get the wherewithal to go back and wave their hand to gain that extra yardage. You're going to be giving teams like the Chiefs, the Bills, the Jaguars, the Eagles, the Bengals, the Dolphins, those teams that can score in one play, you're just going to give them yardage like that, and that's where I have a problem. Now, of course, the NFL comes in, gives their reasoning for it. Excuse me. They did so to reduce concussions and prevent future lawsuits on the league. We know thousands, hundreds of players sue the NFL every year. The NFLPA, they want to stay in front of things on concussions and whatnot. Supposed to reduce kickoff returns by 7% and concussions by 15%. Because if you look into the numbers, the NFL kickoff play, I believe, is the leading play in sports for concussions. So they want to prolong the life of the players and of the league. And I'm here for that. The NFL just celebrated 100 years of the sport, and I want to see more of that. I want to continue to see things done to the game that help the future of it and extend the lifespan of the game that we fell in love with so much, but also don't minimize the game to a point. And it is on a 1-year trial. It's on a 1-year trial. It's not going to be something that's strictly implemented into the rules. They're going to test it out and see it. But owners weren't for it. Players weren't for it. Special teamers were definitely not for it. And of course, they approve it. And it might not necessarily be a correlation. I know there's going to be a comment out there for someone to leave, but the NFL is nearing a 7-year extension, I believe, with Roger Goodell, according to Jim Irsay. I'm telling you guys, I might have to do that Sprite every show, every single show. Thanks, babe. Shout out you. I know you're listening. Shout out JJ Wings and Things in Hogansville, Georgia. American Deli, but on crack, completely family owned. Jonathan and Johnnika, tell them the NFL at AJL sent you. Great folks over there. But yes, get in the comments. Let me know what you think, and I'll check the chat before we get out of here. The NFL has now made that rule to where if you fair catch it with inside the 25-yard line, you will be moved up to the 25. So given yardage, changing games, giving other teams advantages that if you don't have the skill, like now, and this just hit me too, now if you don't have the skill of a special team squad, that's fine because you're going to be saved and get brought up to the 25-yard line anyways. If you don't have good blockers to cover your return man, or if you don't have, I think they're called gunners is on punting. If you don't have good, just special teamers on the kicking team, just beaming it down the field, like that just takes away that skill gap. That is now not a thing that people have to prioritize, and it's just taking an element out of the game. Again, I'm here for it. They want to, prolong the life of the league, and they want to protect the future. But y'all get in the comments, get in the chat, let me know what your thoughts are on this rule change. Wesley says we're going to split with the Colts. Yeah. Agreed, Wesley. Y'all are going to split with the Colts, and y'all are going to split with the Texans as well. Brian Muck says, how about just get rid of kicking off and starting at the 20 or even the 10? Yeah, I would like it to go back to the 20, to be honest with you, Brian. I think the 20 is fair. I think I'm not even opposed to the 10. That would reduce scoring a lot, and not every team, like some teams in the league barely have the capability to go 80 yards on a play, let alone now we would make them go 90, or 80 yards on a drive. Now we'd make them go 90. And of course you have, the walking one play touchdowns and the teams that are always going to, be able to really score from wherever, score at will. But yeah, I mean, getting rid of kickoffs. I mean, at this point, I'd be game for that if they would move it back to the 20 or maybe even the 15. I'd split the difference with you and go move it back to the 15-yard line.